I first started writing in newspaper articles in my local area.
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's newsman, Logan Crawford.
They now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're featuring a terrific author. His name is Jonathan Winchell, and his charming children's book, The Adventures of Forrest, a lovable Boston housecat with a huge imagination. Get ready for a family-friendly kids' adventure story packed with Boston history, iconic landmarks, and playful dress-up fun, from Fenway Park to the Boston Tea Party. If you love children's books, cat lovers' stories, and educational adventures, Forrest is about to steal your heart. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you, Logan, for having me.
It's an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show, sir. You've done great work with this book. Let's talk a little bit about the inspiration to create Forrest. Why a Boston housecat?
So my son and my future daughter-in-law are getting married, and this is in dedication in behalf of them. And also, when I lived in Boston for, I should say, a couple of days in Boston, I saw how they love their cat, and I enjoy watching them play.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city, and certainly cats are adorable pets, so it's a good combination. You included a lot of great landmarks in the story. How did you decide which Boston landmarks and monuments to feature in your story?
So I have a mentor that provided me various sports mascots. Like Forrest will be like, once people get their hands on the book, they'll have a great experience. And like you mentioned, like say Paul Revere or the Tea Party or various landmarks like the pond in Boston. That's how I wanted to know more about Boston.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I do think by learning about the different aspects of Boston culture and Boston history, they learn a lot about America too, because the spirit of Massachusetts is the spirit of America, as we like to say, and you've captured it here in this book. What do you hope kids learn about Boston history through Forrest's adventures?
So this book is going to be a coloring book, not just to read along where the parents read to their kids. It's also for the different ages. For example, it'll be from 4 to 6. Well, they'll be too young to read the words, so the parents will help the kids. But what they can do in the meantime is using this as a coloring book,
Yeah.
and they can color, whether it's in the lines or out of the lines. It really doesn't matter. I want them to feel comfortable. And then the other age will be from 7 to say 10 years old, where they can read and also do coloring at the same time. And it's also for teachers to talk about it in their classrooms like I did when I was in 4th or in 5th grade.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think that's great because kids like interactivity. So instead of just reading it or having it read to them, they're actually part of the story now because they're coloring the pictures, right?
Right.
Wonderful, wonderful. In the story, Forrest uses oversized costumes. Talk to us a little bit about that part of the story.
So again, my mentor had expressed to me in talking about this is, like say the Boston Red Sox, he's wearing a oversized Boston Red Sox uniform with all the right colors, red, and kids can basically blend it in with various colors that they like. Like we know Boston Red Sox with the white and red, and that's just an example.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the different scenes in the book. Tell us about Fenway Park and the story you wrote there that takes place in Fenway.
So I have a book that
Mhm.
I want to show everyone. It's called The Adventures of Forrest. Let me pull that page up.
Sure.
Thank you for asking.
It's a great
Okay,
looking book, and the illustrations are great
thank you.
also.
This where it says the goofy mascot.
Yeah.
And again, this page is going to be a coloring book. And
Hmm.
again, people can do whatever colors they want.
Yeah.
And this is a demonstration of having an oversized jersey, as you can see.
Very, very cute. That's awesome. And that's Forest in the Jersey, which is wonderful too. And then you do a similar thing with the Boston Tea Party. You want to open up
Yes,
and show us that part of the book?
definitely will. I got so many illustrations here. Give me a
And of course, people at home remember the Boston Tea Party was about taxation without representation.
exactly.
Yeah.
What I should have done in the process in getting ready for this interview is to put bookmarks
Oh,
on
that's okay.
on the pages.
Not a problem. But yeah, the people of Boston took all the tea that England had sent over and they dumped it into the harbor and turns it into a giant cauldron of tea. And there he is, looking a lot like Paul Revere there, Forrest is, right? Really great, really great. Forrest saw how the colonists secretly dumped chests of British tea into Boston Harbor. Wonderful, excellent. The illustrations, how did you get those illustrations made? They're beautiful.
So my publisher basically said, how would you want, for example, with the Boston Tea Party, I knew exactly what I wanted. He told me, what do you want to see in Forest? And
Hmm.
that is representation without taxation. He
Yeah,
basically, and I have another chapter on here where he dumps the tea in the harbor. And it's basically saying, I am against having taxes.
yeah.
And that was back in the day, which I don't blame others in feeling that way.
Right. Particularly, they didn't have a voice in government. That's what they were
Exactly.
upset about. Why should I pay the bill if I have no voice in government? And some people still feel that way today. A part of Boston that I didn't know about was Frog Pond. And
Yes.
you explored that in your book. Tell us a little bit about Frog Pond, or if you want to
Well,
show us, that would be great as well.
let me look at that page. I'll show you another demonstration about that.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Should have
Oh, no
got rid.
worries. And right now you're seeing illustrations, but eventually these will be pictures that children can color, which will make it interactive. And I think that's really a
Exactly. That'll
wonderful
be a perfect
aspect of the book.
example.
And the book, of course, balances education and entertainment so young people stay engaged and are learning great lessons. Like we said, the spirit of Massachusetts is the spirit of America. So if they learn about Boston's history, they're learning about the early days of living in the United States, of the original 13 colonies, and so forth. Did you find the part on Frog Pond?
I should have just, I want to get your viewers up to speed at the same time. I don't want to take too much
Oh,
time.
sure, no worries. And it's all told through the eyes of a beautiful cat named Forrest, of course. And I think that cat is going to really engage with children and make the book really, really wonderful and something they want to explore.
Well, you
And
know
I
what?
think,
You know what? I'm basically taking too much time
okay,
trying to
then we'll
find
show it
the
another time. Let me ask you this. Are you thinking about continuing Forrest's adventures? Do you think he'll go to a different city or something like that?
I haven't explored that. Let me tell you what I am exploring
Hmm.
with things that I have ready for. I
Hmm.
want to be able to write because my
Hmm.
passion has always been writing. A lot of people don't know this. Before they even publish their book, they should always write their thoughts down so people will know about me. Because
Right.
before you go to a bookstore, you want to talk about yourself. And
Hmm.
I'm very I focus in my inner self.
Hmm.
And that's what I want people to explore.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Is this your first time writing a book?
No, this is my third book.
Oh, okay. Tell us a little bit about your writing career.
So I first started writing in newspaper articles in my local area.
Hmm.
And I will say that was my first experience in the
Hmm.
writing process. Because, like I said earlier, I talk about my innermost feelings.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends and my mom's friends uh, loved it. They even mentioned, how can I get my thoughts down on
Mm.
paper or in the newspaper? So that's how I started.
Wonderful, wonderful. What was the name of your first book and what was it about?
Well, I have a picture. Let me get that.
Sure, absolutely.
And then I'll show you my second book. Sorry, me not putting my face on the camera here. I
Yeah.
just got the books in front of me.
Yep, that's wonderful.
The first one is
Being
being
different than
different
my
than my
family.
family, living with mosaic Down syndrome, chromosome 21. Let me
Hmm.
briefly explain that. It's a rare disease. It's
Hmm.
more rare than Down syndrome, where my half of my chromosomes are normal,
Hmm.
the other ones are abnormal, and
Hmm.
not a lot of people talk about it.
Right,
My family
right.
didn't even know.
Yeah.
If I could bring up my early history,
Sure.
if I I was born in 1965. They did not know about
Mm.
mosaic Down syndrome. There were so many generalizations about, am
Right.
I going to get married? Am I going to have children? It's just
Hmm.
a plethora, if that's the right adjective,
Yep.
in having even a discussion. And
Mm.
that basically explains this. And this is more of a autobiography.
Yeah, absolutely. What was it like? Let's talk about that book for a little bit.
Sure.
What was it like growing up, being different than your family, having a diagnosis of the mosaic Down syndrome?
This affected me when I was a teenager in the 70s, late
Hmm.
70s. And I struggled and I talked to my family how I felt different.
Hmm.
And listen, you always have to accept things.
Exactly.
But at that age, how
Yeah.
can I accept things if I was not part of the mainstream? What did
Right.
help me, I will say, is tutoring
Yeah.
because my parents were busy, but at the same time, I had a shelter over me, which
Hmm.
and clothes, and those are the basics.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for that.
Where did you grow up? Did you grow up in California?
I did Lafayette, California.
Yeah. Okay. And what part of California is Lafayette?
So it's about 45 minutes from San Francisco.
Okay. Okay. So you're generally in the Bay Area there, I guess, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It actually breaks down. It was the Bay Area, but now they call it the East Bay because of the different zip codes.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Amazing. Amazing. And what age were you diagnosed with this mosaic Down syndrome?
It was through the Stanford University where they thought that I had features like a small nose
Hmm.
and everything. I didn't use my SPATIAL, spatial,
Yeah.
yeah, yes. And it
Right.
was
So there were some
physical.
coordination issues, maybe.
Exactly.
Right.
Eye-hand coordination, as you will.
Right. Amazing. Amazing. So you didn't get diagnosed until you were a young adult?
No, I was diagnosed a month or a couple weeks after me being born.
Oh, okay.
And maybe I should have emphasized that in the beginning, but
Okay.
a lot goes on up here, so I have
Sure.
to,
No, no, it's a lot. It's a lot to
yeah,
talk about, and it's a lot to, talk about on TV, no doubt. But
right.
the book is wonderful, and I think it probably gives hope to a lot of people who have similar. None of us are the same. All of us are different. Some are short, some are tall, some are fat, whatever it might be. So we all lived with differences. Some of those differences are more pronounced, and this is helping people live full lives and understand that they're not alone out there, that other people have differences too. So I think that's a great book.
And the hardest part is never judge a book by its title. And I
Mm.
will say, I did this because in 2022, when I published this, um, Not a lot of people know during the COVID times when this happened, it was an idea of
Mhm.
mine. What can I write about? And that's where the title came to me because no one understood or even had resources to even know about mosaic Down syndrome. And that's why I'm on your podcast today and sharing my story.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you are on the podcast today, and I'm glad you are sharing your story, and that book sounds wonderful. So that was the first book. What was the second book?
My second book is Longing for a Breakthrough.
Hmm,
And what this does is more of a self-help book.
right.
It explores and it updates my first book, where it will help out my health issues. I
Hmm.
was overweight. This happened after my dad passed away in 2007, and I
Hmm.
still reflect a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So when you say you're longing for a breakthrough, what type of breakthrough were you longing for?
Talking more about it,
Hmm.
where in growing up it was not discussed.
Yeah.
Even though I discussed my feelings and was aware of it, I didn't know more till a lot later in life.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Is your mother still alive?
Yes, my mom is still alive.
Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. How old is she? In
I
her
don't want to
80s, I guess,
misquote,
right?
but I know she's in her 80s. I want to
Yeah.
say, well,
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Amazing. And so you mentioned you have you have a child. You have a child who is a young man who's getting married. Your son's getting
well, it's
married.
actually my oldest.
Your
And
oldest.
lives in Boston. He's about 32, or maybe 33, excuse me.
That's
Happens when
wonderful.
you get a little bit aging up, or whatever the phrase goes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And what does your son do for a living?
He works at Google.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, he's doing quite well if he's working at Google.
Correct.
What, what kind of work does he do for Google?
I really don't want to talk about those details because I really want to get back
Okay.
to
Sure.
the book
Absolutely. You want to get back to
as
the
we're
book?
talking about on the
Absolutely.
podcast.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And,
So tell us a little bit more about Forest. Are you thinking about developing it into a series of books?
well, what I did proactively, I got my own cat, and it was for
Okay.
my wife and I, and it inspired me to get not only watching my cat grow up,
Hmm.
so to speak, but that's what inspired me.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. So how long have you had this new cat?
I would say not even 6 months.
Okay.
And when my wife, if I can look back, if you don't mind, and
Sure.
it'll be short. When my wife was traveling to visit her family,
Hmm.
I had opportunity where my cat came to me.
Hmm.
I'm not the kind of person to lift up a cat. Other people in my family love doing that, but you never
Right.
want to force a cat on you. Let her come to me. And her
Mm.
name is oh my God. Um I'm 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 having a little bit of a mental block because
No
I'm
worries. No
excited
worries.
about my
Yeah.
the cat of my son.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, that's great. You got a cat of your own. So now you're going to probably craft some stories about your own cat, right?
Well, I want to, but I want to focus more about the writing process, getting back to writing.
Okay, so tell us what it was like writing this book. What was it like for you?
I enjoy the process because as a filmmaker, it's like the same thing as a book. You got your pre-production and
Hmm.
post-production. And as you know, being an actor like
Yeah.
yourself, you probably know the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Have you envisioned the story about Forrest becoming a animated series or a TV series or a movie or something like that?
A movie,
Yeah.
to be even more specific, to do a short film. I,
Mm.
I have some people in the entertainment business that have a
Hmm.
theater in my area. I used to be a sponsor, But
Hmm.
I'm just enjoying life and enjoying contacting my friends.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. I think it would be a terrific film, a terrific short film, and so entertaining to see the cat dressed up in the different outfits and so forth, and visiting the different highlights of Boston. And with the all the AI and all of the
Oh
special
yeah.
effects you can do nowadays, I think you could make it happen, and it'd be great. That'd be great. Do you think children will really relate to cats as a character in a book?
I am hoping they do
Yeah.
because people love their cats, and it's so much easier. Because when you have a dog, you don't know what size of a dog you're going to get, depending on what breed you feel comfortable. But with cats, they are so attached to you. They come to your lap, you can rest with them, and looking at the sun, because cats love sun. And that's what
Mm.
makes me writing books,
Yeah.
like,
Absolutely.
like The Adventures of
Absolutely.
Forrest. Yeah.
Yeah. Forrest's personality feels like it's full of wonder. I think that's kind of great because it's as the cat has wonder, I think children have the same type of wonder, right?
That is correct. And it's interesting. If I could take another photo, give you an example. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
This is one chapter that men sees him in a windowsill. And we all know cats love windowsills and get the sun reflective. And look how Forrest is.
So cute. Really cute. A positively perfect sunbeam. Yeah, he looks very, very relaxed there. That is great. That is great. What's the message that you hope parents and families take away from Forrest's story?
Creativity,
Mhm.
because we all have creativity, is
Mm.
how we utilize it.
Yeah,
And again, for teachers, I want to emphasize, I think it brings out the best
yeah,
in kids and even teenagers. And believe it or not, I still feel like a kid.
yeah.
My my memories are from going to
Mm.
Disneyland, and bringing the characters of a cat and dressing them up.
Yeah,
Imagine it's a small world after all. That's
yeah.
how I've always envisioned my book to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Forrest, obviously explores Boston. We were talking a little bit about him visiting other cities. I would think it'd be awesome if he visited the nation's capital. I think that would be
That's a
cool.
good
So
idea.
there's a lot of great places he could explore. What was it like switching gears? You had written basically memoirs before, autobiographies. This time you wrote a children's book. Was it different? Was the writing process different for you?
Not really, because I want to stick with nonfiction,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's a physical cat on the cover of the book.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to focus on the inside as um, coloring, so people can use their own imagination on what colors to use.
Yeah.
And my whole life was about being all matter of fact.
Yeah.
That's why I focused from being matter of fact
Mm.
to something animated that I enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. You seem to know a lot about film production. Have you worked in film production? Has that been your work?
Yes, I was an executive producer on a feature, and I was in some short films
Hmm.
that I mostly, well, I acted, and also I was an executive producer,
Hmm.
and those were great memories.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. And you did that in California.
That is correct in
Yeah,
my area of Lafayette.
wonderful. When you have you shared this book with any children? Have you read it to any children, or have you got any feedback from kids about Forrest's story?
So in my first book, I was at a Barnes and Noble, and I was hoping to do that on my third book.
Mm-hmm.
And my publisher and I talked about, oh, wouldn't it be a great idea to have this book at the bookstore?
Yeah,
And I'm going to be doing that.
wonderful.
But with the students, I think as soon as I bring my book to the teachers, maybe they can have like a special book day like when I was growing up, I loved when people read to me, the whole class. This was in fourth and fifth grade. And
Mm.
that's what I'm hoping this book will accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think children will love it. I think families will love it, and I think it'd be a great addition to school libraries as well. So I think
That's
that
my
would be,
plan.
yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Are you working on anything new right now? Tell us what you're working on next.
So it's not really related to books. It's mostly also related to my writing, but I also belong to a radio organization, and
Hmm.
I talk about a certain radio station in the Bay Area in San Francisco from the 60s and 70s, and even back further than that.
Wonderful. Well, that sounds exciting and a lot of fun. So you do a lot of great fun pursuits from writing to radio to film, and you said you did some theater also, right?
Well, more so where I was a part of doing special effects as an example.
Okay.
When I was at the town theater in my city with the radio organization that I belong to.
Yeah.
May I tell you the organization that I belong to put
Sure.
all this in perspective uh, in doing sound effects?
Hmm.
I volunteer at the California Historical Radio Society in Alameda. And many years ago, they told me to go to the town center in Lafayette to do sound effects. It really was exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm sure that sounds great. And what message do you hope readers take away from your book? What do you hope children learn?
I hope they learn, especially as they grow older, like these Paul Revere, because as I spoke about the different target ages from 7 to 10, I'm
Hmm.
hoping down the road these people will buy more books for their
Yeah.
kids.
Yep.
And when they're even parents, I hope they can explore the various locations, like you said, visiting Washington, D.C., because people love traveling. And
Yeah.
that's where Forrest, I hope, will travel the world
Yeah. Absolutely.
globally and also locally.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we're looking forward to that. The name of the book we've been talking about primarily today is The Adventures of Forrest, a lovable Boston house cat who's got a huge imagination. Get ready for some family-friendly, fun adventures. It is a story packed with Boston history, iconic landmarks, and playful dress-up fun from Fenway Park to the Boston Tea Party. If you love children's books, cat stories, stories about animals, nature, history, educational adventures, you will love this book. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Logan.
I appreciate your time, your insight, and the wonderful work you've done on this book. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.